Well, beauty is what you see yourself. Like when you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see? When you look into your own eyes, your soul, what do you see? Are you happy with that person? Are you satisfied with that person? Yes. And you're beautiful.
Welcome to the Beauty Talk podcast, where we feature how the best medical practitioners help their patients to look better, younger, and healthier. Now, enjoy the show, and here's your host.
Daniel Gao here. I'm the host of Beauty Talk. We feature the top medical practitioners in health and beauty, both inside and out. I have Ari Crose, who is a leading expert in anti-aging and aesthetic medicine, known for blending science, artistry, and advanced technology to help patients look and feel their best. For more than 8 years, she has owned and operated 2 high-end aesthetic medical practices across Northern and Southern California. With a strong background in regenerative medicine, Ari has conducted a peer-reviewed pilot study on mesenchymal stem cell therapy for ALS patients, demonstrating her commitment to pushing the boundaries of medical innovation. Her philosophy is simple. Age reversal begins at the cellular level. Ari combines cutting-edge peptide and stem cell therapies with the latest laser platforms and FDA-cleared technologies to deliver natural, transformative results. She's also a strong advocate for personalized wellness. Her approach includes comprehensive hormone optimization for men and women, supporting andropause, perimenopause, and postmenopause, along with custom nutrition and lifestyle plans based on DNA analysis and detailed lab work. So Ari, welcome and glad to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so let's start with this. How did you first get interested in the medical field?
Well, my very first degree was mathematics science. I graduated at age 21 and I started becoming a math teacher. I always been interested in medical field. Mathematics was very abstract to me, but it was universal language. So I pursued medicine around age 28. And I realized that I can transfer all of my mathematics courses to my degree. And I became a nurse. And I was my primary goal was to be a nurse practitioner, to have more scope of practice, and work by side by my husband at the time. And he was a physician, and he was a totally conventional medicine physician. And he was in first year medical school. We bonded towards the all of the common research about regenerative medicine and anti-aging. Like we would go to conferences, and the entire relationship was talking about how we can live younger. And I had at that time uh, some autoimmune disorder and food sensitivity that made me to change my whole aspect of view to medicine. And he was still for 5 years believe in conventional medicine. And by me going through all of these changes, um, he convinced and he joined me and we opened a practice together in 2018.
Oh, wow. Okay. So was opening that practice kind of part of the dream you had with this, or was it something that
Yes.
just based on necessity you wanted to open up?
Yes, because insurance and pharmaceutical put limitation in your scope of practice. They don't allow physician and primary care provider think out of the box. Whatever dictated based on the insurance limitation you have to do for the patient. Like you cannot just say, oh, you have type 2 diabetes. You can just do this workout, this dietary restriction, and you cure. No, they want to, from the beginning, put to your injectable insulin. And when you read all of the research, diabetes is not disease of a high blood sugar. Is the insulin resistant comes first, and that insulin level goes up until body overcompensate and pancreas get exhausted, and you see it through your labs. When they tell somebody you're pre-diabetic, is like you tell someone you're a little pregnant. There's no such a thing. So, but before that stage, it puts you on insulin. You're already high in insulin. Your cell cannot plug in the insulin and glucose, and you just injecting insulin, giving them more. brand new drugs. And I felt that during my primary care practice, it was not fair to the patient when there was solution out there and where you could find it in regenerative medicine.
Okay. Now, I want to dive into this treatment of regenerative medicine because regenerative medicine, my understanding is that it's been around for a long time, but mostly like in the orthopedic space. But now it's coming more and more into the aesthetic space. But for
Yes.
people who've never heard of regenerative medicine, could you kind of give like a high level view? What is regenerative medicine and how does it help?
So body has its way of like healing itself if you give it the means, and how you can provide the means by external causes, like you have to create a healthy environment for yourself. You have to avoid mycotoxin, molds, chemical exposure, process eating, and then you have to go through detoxing. So we have three detox pathway. It's a renal, the kidneys, and you can have like a water fast. It's a liver. You have to do a glutathione, infrared sauna, and you have lymphatic, which is vibratory shaking devices, and also infrared sauna and sweating. So once you declog your system allow to in like it filter all the toxin out of your system, and your body started functioning better. These are the things that conventional medicine always give you medicine, like, oh, you have high blood pressure, take this and affect the renal. I have five more side effects and affect this system, and you're failing. So um, but with regenerative medicine, you let your body regenerate whatever that been required to fix. Like if you have, for example, insulin resistant, let's go back to that one. Um, then what it is, intermittent fasting, prevent sugar consumption, prevent any fruit that needs to be ripened that it's high fructose and affect the liver. So by helping each organ, the whole system will start working functional together and provide you the health that you required, and you're thriving. No necessary, it's not necessary. You have to be on certain chemical medication to do that. You have to find the core reason, underlying issue, fix that. The whole system will be fixed.
Okay, so it sounds like it's a natural treatment method because you're kind of using your own body to regenerate itself.
Yes.
No drugs either, so it's a little bit, or it's a lot cleaner as well. So is that kind of
Yes.
how you sum up
Sometimes,
medicine?
yeah, sometimes if it's too late, we help. That's the beauty of it. We help conventional medicine and pharmaceutical. Like sometimes the mold toxicity is so high level. There are also antifungal, anti-mold that it's like a long term for a year. We put patient on for detox, and then for removing the mold out of the system. There is, but in general, you have to think about preventing and allowing your body to find and detect those flaws, tackle it, and then let the function goes.
Okay. So, and I want to go back to this concept of detox because it sounds like it's a very important part of this entire process. But could you talk a little bit more about the detox? I think most people think of it of detox. Well, I mean, I eat generally pretty healthy. I don't eat too much junk food, so I don't really need to detox.
Sure.
Or like mold, it's like, oh, I don't have mold. Mold is what I think about is in my attic or is in my bathroom or my kitchen. I don't have it in my body. So can you talk a little bit more about detoxing mold, like just how I guess polluted is the word I use. How polluted is our body, even though we don't realize it?
So it's very tricky. Like for example, a person who buy a cup of coffee from Starbucks, all the coffees have mold. No matter what, they're imported. They stay in a moist environment. The coffee machine, they don't have a way of cleaning the lumen inside the grinding towards the where you get the coffee. It's contaminated with mold. Over time, you exposing yourself to the simple thing, not thinking about it. The rice that you left over, you put it in the refrigerator. Rice 3 hours after cooking, it start developing mold in it. The bottle of the water that you drink in it, even if it's from Fiji or normal water, is plastic contaminants, plastic in it, and you drink in it. That's another exposure of chemical. All of the plastic, like you buy your grass-fed, grass-finished meat in the plastic, fibroplastic in the stores, and that's another contamination. Like it's every day or container that it says microwave safe, you put it in a refrigerator, it's all your food is contaminated. So when you think about it, we cannot get away from a modern living and not to be exposed to all of this toxic and glyphosate and plastic and fungal infection. So little by little you expose, and one day your body said, okay, I can't handle it, and you can detect it through proper testing, and you're like, when did that happen? I'm healthy, I'm not eating this, I'm not doing that. But that's how in daily living creep up you. If you don't slowly declog it, just like your shower, you go everyday shower, suddenly it's overflow. What happened? Clump of hair over the course of a month went to the clog and you didn't know. And so you have to declog your system, filtration system. That's considered detoxing, whether renal pathway, whether lymphatic pathway, or liver pathway. We have to always be mindful of unclogging all of this system, so let the body not to accumulate all of this toxin.
Okay, got it. Now, on the detox side, you mentioned there's a couple of different ways of doing it. I think one you mentioned like a water fast. So basically just not eating some of these bad foods just to let your system reset. I think another one was infrared sauna was another one. What was the third one?
So it's a liver one. So you can there are DNA tests that shows if you have a proper glutathione pathway. There's a glutathione spray that the bioavailability is way above the nasal spray or oral or liposomal. So you spray it. Dr. Patel here in UC San Diego came up with this, and it's absorbed through the skin and bind with all of the toxin, whether byproduct of alcohol that you consume or other mold toxicity, and go and detox through the liver. So with that technique, you can just detox your liver in a regular basis. As you know, drinking alcohol, even little bit of it, the filtration goes through the liver, and sometimes sugar alcohol overwhelm the liver and turn to a fat. That's why comes to fatty liver disease. Any type of fructose, which is wine is sort of fructose, regardless of like fat, like alcoholic liver disease, is non-alcoholic liver disease, is a fatty liver disease, is come from a lots of sugar. You eat fruit. Fruit is fructose, especially fruit that needs to be ripened, like banana, like pineapple, mangoes. Those are high in fructose. Where they go? Through the liver. What happens if liver is plugged and overwhelmed? Turn it to fat and coat it around the liver, and that's eventually mesenteric fat to come to place. Everybody's like, I'm skinny everywhere. What's wrong with my stomach? Well, that's a fat, visceral fat called around your organ. That's how little by little come up, and then after your body get burn out or exhausted, you started noticing the sign of it in an external way. So yeah.
I see. Okay. I want to go back to the infrared sauna because I think people can understand the concept of, okay, I get to a sauna, I sweat out, and then I'm sweating out all the detox. But you mentioned specifically infrared sauna. So is the infrared sauna something different than the traditional sauna I go to like at the gym? And if it is different, like what's the main differences between, am I still kind of getting the same for both, or is one slightly better? Or like, can you explain a little bit more on that side of it?
It's very commercialized infrared sauna, but uh, there is companies that they making very high quality infrared. The wavelength hit to the cellular level. I'm not supporting any brand, but there's some of them that in the dermatology we use and we like it, like Light Esteem. It's a very good brand, and I've noticed that with pain that I use, when you put it in a painful area, is just tackle that, and within 20 minutes the pain goes away, whether arthritic pain, muscular pain, or nerve pain. Those are that anecdotally I've seen that work with this brand of device. And infrared sauna, they using those medical grade proven with a third party testing, of course, they integrate it to their sauna. And I think when you go in there, not only you sweating, but by exposing your body to those infrared in the cellular level is a mitochondria dysfunction that a lot of people suffering from, and a lot of things cause endocrine disruption. One of the things is scents, like candle with scent. Those are the main things that cause endocrine disruption. And you get like a chronic fatigue, like 2 p.m., 4 p.m., your energy is shut down. That's mitochondrial dysfunction. That's a classic sign of it. Once you go to infrared sauna and you sweating and then you exposed to that sign, to the cellular level, you start repairing all of those damages. And your cell started recognizing the cell that are malfunction, and then they become alert. The like a shocking the body hormesis, it's very important. After sauna, you expose yourself to cold shower, and then the whole body go to the shock and tackle to all of the zombie cell. And that's how you start thriving and tackling any potential cancer cell in like a stage 0. So that's the preventative measurement to go towards a healthy lifestyle, regardless of what your genetic is. Oh, my grandpa died of lung cancer. My dad died of lung cancer. I'm going to die of lung cancer. No. Environmentally, it's only 20% genetic, 80% is what you do for yourself in a daily living.
Okay, so a lot of it's in our own hands, and we can reverse it.
Exactly. 80%. It's a big number.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Now, I want to dive into ALS because that was something I mentioned in your introduction, and how
Sure.
regenerative medicine can help treat treat ALS. I don't know if I can say treat, but could you
Yes.
talk about that? Because when I think about ALS and regenerative medicine, it's like, okay, like it seems like it's a newer treatment, but could you talk a little bit more about that, like how regenerative medicine is able to help people with ALS?
I had a few patients that they had a significant of others or brothers that they were tackling with this ALS treatment, and one of them was in Brazil, and the other one was here in California. And they were asking me, "You're doing a stem cell. Why you guys don't do any trial on a stem cell?" There was a few trial stopped, and I was just like, yes, nobody had done it. So I supported my husband at that time to not to work 1 year, and I work extra. I was recruiting patient, and we did a pilot safety study. It's in a like a, and then there was a stem cell lab called Direct Biologic, and Tim Mosley was the scientist and supported us. Like, I provide you free product, and you guys start treating the ALS patient. Nobody has done it, just to for pilot study that safety and efficacy of it. We said okay, so we did that for 1 year, and it's a nasty neurological disease, but what we noticed, there was absolutely no side effect noted in any of those patients, and the improvement was very intermittent and slow. Like, for example, if they could not swallow, they still were like breathing properly, because, as you know, it's tackled the lung, and then when you stop breathing, you're done. And it delayed the death. They were like very end stage that the family agreed to participate in the study. We were injecting intravenously in monthly basis. And during this 12 months of doing that, we noticed the family saying like their memory gets better, they're not declining as fast, and there was absolutely no side effect. So we published it. It took a lot because it was biologic research. um, Peer review was a little tough, but after 3 years, finally we published that. And then when in an injectable for improvement of neurological disease, that safety exists, why not be incorporated to other treatment like aesthetics, like burn, like eczema? So we started trying to everything, and the results anecdotally been significant. However, there's limitation on FDA or everything, but people want it. They fly for it to Panama, they fly for it to Cancun, Cabo, to get those treatment and come back, and everybody's happy. And there are some limitation in the state, but you have to bypass those limitations in a safe manner under the research, and then you can help a lot of people under that umbrella.
Wow. Okay. So it sounds like regenerative medicine is something that can help with lots of different things, conditions, even just general health then.
Correct, yes.
Okay. So since this treatment is relatively new to things like neurological diseases, to aesthetics, to overall health, I'm sure there's a lot of myths or misconceptions surrounding this treatment. So, what are some of those common misconceptions you hear from people when it comes to this treatment?
People
Regenerative.
think that this is someone else's stem cell in their body. People think that, oh, they're gonna get diseases of whoever donated that stem cell. These are the myths, and in a lab, they are very meticulous to do the tests on HIV, on all of those um, blood-driven diseases, and clear that as a safe and bottle it and supply it. And safety is number one in all of those. And then what company providing that for you? Are they safe? And how long they been in this business? And if FDA go in and review their process for safety. If it's not even approved, but it's still FDA go and do investigation and wants the explanation, because as you know, they all work under the name of the research. Um, and I would recommend to stick to anything that in America made. I understand there's a lot of places in Mexico, they're really reliable. There's a place in Colombia affiliated with University of Columbia. They are also safe. But if some people doubt that, so why don't you use all of them manufactured in the US?
Okay. So let's say that somebody is looking to get some type of regenerative medicine treatment done or want to use it for their overall health or a specific condition, but they don't know who to go to. What advice would you give to that person as they're doing their search for that provider who knows what they're doing, who can really help them and resolve their issue?
Yes, there's a lot of places that they advertise that, but you want to know who has done enough research on that, who has a publication, who definitely have the knowledge to explain to the patient and the mechanism of action. So by interviewing your provider and doing your own research, you can find a quality one. And then whoever been we were the very first one 8 years ago when we started. It was relatively very new. We started injecting it for hair growth, and the result was phenomenal because each follicle will come out in people with gray hair. The hair that exosome make them grow back was black. So I was like, hey, listen, this is like younger than what the person follicle talking. So it's a signaling molecule that programming the rest of the follicle to act younger. So it could be anti-aging. It could be delaying deterioration as a result of telomerase shortening. So it got to be something to that, to that anecdotally. So that's made us to be like, um, I'm not say provoke us, but encourage us to start doing more research and going to the bottom to the other aspect. Like, what if it would be like intravenously, systemically? However, there's another thing that I recommend if you guys don't know that if you're battling cancer or you have tumor, you are not a good candidate because this kind of thing grow. It may help everything grow. So if you have a tumor or lump or fibroid, I don't recommend to those people to get this treatment. Consult your oncologist, your doctor. Not everyone candidate to be treated with that, with a stem cell.
Okay, that's really good to know then. Okay, so then with this treatment, since I mean, when people think about medicine, it's very scientific, but
Sure.
it also sounds like there's a role that creativity plays in what you do, like having to try different things, test different things. But how important is it for creativity in what you do, and particularly when it comes to these types of treatments?
So that's bringing another subject. It's a hormone. So I realized people over like a female patient over 40 when they come, they all complain of under eye, like either dark circle or crepiness or hollowness. So I started deep dive into it. So like a lots of people go to massive hemorrhage during their perimenopausal, and then put them in iron deficiency. Iron deficiency, one of the main things is cause dark circle around the eyes. So then I started thinking about one of the failure in our medical system is not neglecting perimenopausal and postmenopausal women in hormone replacement therapy. So then we started offering the hormone replacement therapy. We went to Soto Pala in Scottsdale, get trained with palate insertion, and it just resolved a lot of that issue. And then why under eye? And I was just like, okay, this is the thinnest skin around the female eyes, and with aging and hormone fluctuation gets worse and worse. So I bought this called Aqua Gold. It's a stamped micro needling 0.6 millimeter of depth, and I put the stem cell in that and stamp it around the eye. And I started noticing everyone who does that, the under eye started getting thicker and the skin is healthier. So the injury with the tip of the needle activate the fibrinogen and collagen, and with the stem cell signaling all of those enzyme that release for healing this area that we purposely injured with the needle, and heal it in a faster and more efficient way. And that's why the quality of the skin has started getting better and better.
Okay,
So
got it.
that was my observation.
Got it. And so I'm sure that throughout your experience, you've had some other memorable cases. Maybe they're challenging, maybe they're tough, or just memorable. Is there maybe one story that you can share of just a memorable case of someone that came in and how you were able to get them a great result in the end?
One of the very memorable one was the first case of meniscus tear. This lady loved to play basketball with her boys, and that was her dream to always her boys grow up and play basketball. And she tore her meniscus while playing with them.
Mhm.
And when we injected to the knee with the stem cell, within a month she felt no pain, and she did the MRI. Everything was fine, and she was so happy and got excited. Went back and tore it again. So I would say you heal something, you don't feel pain, but you go injured again. But she got back and she said, I'm going to do it every month and I'm going to tear it for the rest of my life. And that was the funniest part that I heard that's like she was such a believer of regenerative medicine that she said, I can heal at any age. And that was the encouragement. So we started offering to um, uh, facet and the back pain. Lots of NFL athletes started coming over, and that's how we started like treating like a sport medicine. People want to go back to the game, and they didn't want anyone find out about their treatment or their injuries. The privacy was there. And seeing them thriving was also one of my memorables. Like I could see some of the famous athlete here in my office, and it was like a dream. I was like, wow, they're here.
So where do you think the future of regenerative medicine is going?
Well, there are lots of new one that I can in Las Vegas, in Reno, because California is highly regulated. A lots of other places they started like endorsing it and manufacturing it and then offering treatment, which is very optimistic to me that it's growing and people started having less believing less of the rumor that pharmaceutical throwing out there about the safety. Because when I listen to this sexy voice of the drug advertised in on TV and it says side effect death, and
Yeah.
I'm like, do you hear that? The sexy lady says this and this drug side effect death. No one
Mhm.
hear that.
Yeah.
And with the stem cell, there's absolutely no side effect.
Mhm.
I did not see any side effect. Like cause this disease, cause blindness, cause this, cause that. It's 100% biological.
Mhm. Wow. So it's a very
Very
bright
promising.
future, very promising, bright future.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know then.
Yeah, and if you know Tony Robbins, he's
Oh yeah.
investing in BioSplice in Cabo, and he has a whole this regenerative medicine center that he's one of the most trusted, man in America, I would say, that believed in it. And then I recently read his book. It's phenomenal that he's one of the pioneers to believe in that regenerative medicine.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it's a bright future then, great future for regenerative medicine. So then with that in mind, for your practice, Rising Phoenix Wellness, what is your vision for your practice?
So my vision is like beauty, health, and wellness. It should be considered at a cellular level to the surface. You cannot just like feeling like insomnia. You are mid 40, you're going through a divorce, you just not feeling good, and you come here to get laser or a filler to feel better. No, what's going on? Let's go to the bottom of it. Hormone optimization, um, taking care of your sleep, which is the primary things for health, is the sleep. Nothing else, and nothing can replace your health but sleep well. And based on that foundation, then you build up. And then majority of the sleep deprivation come from our hormone imbalance, and that hormone imbalance affect our psychological um, well-being, and um, and that started building up to like level of insecurities, level of like dissatisfaction, unhappiness, and then you want to look at the mirror and fix everything externally when endogenously you need to be um, fixed than exogenously.
Okay. So, Ari, I have one last question for you before I ask it. I do want to point people to your website at risingphoenixwellnessaesthetics.com. Now, last question is, what does beauty mean to you?
Well, beauty is what you see yourself. Like when you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see? When you look into your own eyes, your soul, what do you see? Are you happy with that person? Are you satisfied with that person? Yes. And you're beautiful.
Well, there you have it. Ari sharing your expertise. So, Ari, where can people contact you in your practice?
They can come up with they can reach out with the email on the website, or they can call me directly at 858-668-8745. I'm always available answering uh, text messages, or go to my website, to my Instagram. That's also, I have a team that take care of all the messages and forward the things that directly want to be discussed with me. And my Instagram also the same, Rising Phoenix.
Awesome. Well, Ari, this is great. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for shedding some light on regenerative medicine and this, I don't want to say new, but upcoming and vastly changing for the better industry. So thank you for coming on and sharing.
Sure. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Beauty Talk podcast. Any questions, please contact the practice directly with the contact information provided during the show. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.